afternoon, my Israelite brothers and sisters, those that have been scattered and adopted and grafted, everybody. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to let you know in this short video what the lesson is going to be this weekend. You see it, warning, the mark of the beast. So I'm going to be doing this lesson to the congregation. That's going to be my lesson message. This coming Sabbath, you'll be able to tune in at 1:00 p.m. and you'll be able to get this message more in depth. So just a summary of what I'm preparing is basically the mark of the beast. Now everybody who is unlearned in this category has to be very careful about this subject as a whole, because of Hollywood, because of Christian thinking or Christian lack of thinking, or not exploring this subject at all. Most churches in the Christendom realm does not touch this subject for whatever reason. I don't know why, but when you get into Revelations and Daniel and the mark of the beast, it seems like most people stay away from this subject. But there's a reason why I'm going to be dealing with it. I was having a conversation with someone else and we had a discussion about the importance of this very subject. So, let me say this about what we see in Hollywood. In Hollywood, and what a lot of people think, Christians and everybody alike, that the mark of the beast is going to be this computer chip that's in your hand or on your forehead. When you talk about the mark of the beast, a barcode going across your forehead and stuff like that, because of the way people read and the way they interpret scriptures mixed in with ideologies and Hollywood, and the lack of people reading and studying the subject from a biblical perspective, okay? So I'm going to be jumping into this subject this weekend, and I'm going to hit it hard. I'm going to unveil it. I'm going to jump right into it, because if you're looking for the mark of the beast to be something that you see on Hollywood, where you got a chip inside your hand and it's something dealing with technology where they're going to take away all the money and take away your ATM and your bank card, and when you go into a grocery store, if you don't have this chip on you, you're not going to be able to crank up your car, you're not going to be able to purchase anything. I have heard it all. They got YouTubes on this mess. That is a trick of the adversary for you not to know what the mark really is. Okay? So I'm going to hit this with you real quick. The mark of the beast is going to come from the adversary, and it deals with the adversary. But let me tell you this about the adversary. The adversary does the opposite of whatever the Most High says. The Most High says that the seventh day is the Sabbath. The adversary says it's the first day. The Most High says, eat clean. The adversary does something totally different. So when you start to look at a mark, I want you to look at the mark of the beast the same way. Okay? Now, in the book of Revelations, it talks about where God told the earth to hold back and don't harm the earth. Told the 4 angels, hold back everything until I go seal the saints. Okay? He's going to seal us. Let me say this. When the Almighty seals us in our foreheads, because that's how he says he was going to seal us, in our foreheads. This is your forehead right here. What's behind this forehead? Your mind. Okay? Your mind, your thought, your intellect, your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding. He's telling the angels, hold back. Don't do anything until I go seal the saints here in their foreheads. Okay? That is us studying and knowing God's word. It's amazing how we read about the mark of the beast being in our foreheads and in our hands, but nobody ever talks about the seal of God being in our foreheads. In the same book of Revelations, nobody ever talks about it. There's no video out there that says, oh, the Most High is going to put a chip in your head. No, nobody addresses it. You know why? Because that's what the adversary does. He has you so afraid and so geared up about looking out for the mark of the beast that you forget about the seal of God in the same forehead. So it's not something physical that's going to be in your forehead. It is the word of the Most High. It's his Torah. It's his laws, statutes, and judgments. It's his feast days. It's his law. It's his way of life. So we have to seal ourselves in our foreheads. Okay? This is what the Most High is doing right now. He wants to seal people. He's calling people. He's waking people up. He's letting them know to return unto him. Okay? Because he's going to return and he's going to establish Israel back as a nation. He's going to gather us one by one from the very nations that we have been scattered from. But I got news for you. I got news for you, Hebrew Israelites. You can be a Hebrew Israelite all you want. And you can have the knowledge. I don't care if you're wearing a yarmulke. I don't care if you're wearing a fringe. I don't care what you're doing. But if you're not doing the will of the Most High and you're not into Torah and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not going to be sealed in your forehead. Okay? So some people are learning just a little bit of the law because it's almost like a fad now. It's like what's in style to say I'm a Hebrew Israelite. But let me tell you something. You can go there and you can do all of this stuff, but if you're not in his will, you will not be sealed. And let me say this, okay? Whether we call him Yahshua, Yahashua, the Son of the Most High, or Jesus, if you don't accept him, you will not be sealed in your forehead, okay? You can take that to the bank, okay? Now, here's the big thing about the mark of the beast. If you don't have the seal of God in your forehead, then you have been marked. You've been marked. You've been marked because you don't have the seal. It's just that simple. It's not that complicated at all. If you do not have the seal of God in your forehead, then you have the mark of the beast. You've been marked. It's almost like physically, think about it. So you find, you take a stamp, right? And you take this stamp and you got 10 pieces of paper on the desk and you stamp them, right? And somebody says, I want you to go on there and get, out of the 10 pieces of paper, grab every one that has a stamp on it. Okay? So out of 10, 4 pieces of paper got a stamp on them. So you pick them up, okay? And you bring back 4. The rest of the 6 have been marked. Marked how? As not having the seal. Now, it's a little bit more in depth than that, because when the mark of the beast is in the forehead, it is the opposite of what God teaches. It could be a false religion. It could be idolatry. It could be your way of life. If you don't have Torah in the heart of your mind, and if you're studying and doing a practice that's not according to the scriptures, then you've been marked. Then you've been marked. And it says, I'm going to put a mark in their forehead. That means that's the way you think. That's the way you believe. And when you put a mark on your hand, that's how you operate. It's how you operate. It's just that simple. It is just that simple. And I hate to say it like this, but if you have a different day other than the appointed Sabbath, and if you have holidays instead of holy days, and that's how you operate, that's how you think, okay? Like he says in Jeremiah the 10th chapter, you go into a forest and you chop down a tree like the hand of the work of an axeman. So you believe in idolatry, and now you out doing it. Okay? That's the mark of the beast in your hand. And what you're doing is your hand and your way of life. How you operate is the way you think. And that's the mark of the beast in your forehead and on your hand. Okay? So that's going to be the message at 1 o'clock. Don't forget to tune in. It's going to be this Sabbath at 1 o'clock p.m. on this channel. You get a notification. I'm going to be teaching before the congregation. Oh, by the way, we got nice equipment. We got some equipment that was provided free use to us so we can put out a better quality, but we also still need more digital cameras. So if you find in your heart to donate, please don't forget to do that so we can get more digital cameras. But I am very seriously committed to taking this gospel to the four corners of the earth. That's my job. And thank you for tuning in. That's the subject. Don't forget to tune in this Sabbath, because that's what the subject of the lesson is going to be, the mark of the beast. Bless you. Don't forget to subscribe and feel free to share this video. Bless you.